Welcome back to your new grow, and today an episode that I'm super excited to record. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. As you can see, we are not dealing with pots and compost and all that stuff today. We're actually recording today the first episode of our new cook, and today we are making one of my favorite recipe as the homemade tomato paste. Let's go. The idea was this new series on New Cook is to show you how easy it is to prepare some recipes. So I'm not in a big fancy kitchen. I'm in the greenhouse just now. All I've got is this wee camping stove and a few basics. So in terms of what you need, well, clear enough, you need some tomatoes. We've got about 1.5 kilos of tomatoes in here to use today. Obviously, the more the merrier. We will need some sugar. I'm using some castor sugar because that's what I use in the kitchen, but granulated sugar is fine as well. We're going to need some olive oil. We're going to need some salt. I'm going to use some Italian seasoning in it. You can use just basil. In fact, if you've managed to save your basil, you can use your own basil, but you don't even need to do that. You can keep it quite bland and basic, but I quite like to add some Italian seasoning. Again, if you've got your own herbs, use your own herbs. We need obviously a tablespoon and a teaspoon. I've got one of each in here. We need a pot. We need obviously I'm using a spatula, but you can use a wooden spoon as well. And we will need a pan quite large. This one is not the widest that I've got, but for the size of the cooker in here, that's pretty much as big as I can get. But if you do this in your own kitchen, then you can go for a really wide one. The wider, the better. This is going to be to dehydrate the sauce to turn it into a puree. So the wider it is, the quicker it's going to be. What we need as well is a blender. It's not 100% necessary. You can strain it, but you can also, and I'm not going to do this because I'm using mostly cherry-sized tomatoes, well, exclusively cherry-sized tomatoes, but you can also skin them. So you would blanch them, so cook them for a few minutes in like boiling water, then put them in ice water, then you can peel them. I'm not peeling 1.5 kilos of cherry tomatoes. Absolutely not, sir. So I am going to use the blender to mix all this into a finer paste or a finer sauce, which then is going to make a finer paste. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is prepare our tomatoes. So obviously I should have mentioned as well, there's a knife and wee towel just to clean your hands because it's a bit messy, this part. So what we need to do basically is the tomatoes, we need to make sure that the tail is removed. So in this case, this one is already done. This is not going to be the best one because those ones are a bit soggy, and I'm just going to give them a quick chop like that, just to accelerate this process. You could potentially put them all full. This knife is not the best. My good knife are actually in the wash. I should have sharpened this one, but yeah, that will do. So tail such as this needs to be taken off just like that, and then we just give them a quick chop and then put them in there. So we'll do this with the whole lot, and then I'll see you right after for the next step. Right, now that we've got this done, I must say my hands are really sticky, which is actually really good news, because that means that they contain a lot of sugar. And if they contain a lot of sugar, then they're going to be super tasty and we will need less sugar. So this is what we have. at this point. So it's all been chopped. As you can see, I've mixed all the tomatoes. So in there I've got some of the, if I manage to pick it up, I've got some of the pink bumblebee, I've got some of the black moon as well. I've just put everything. Obviously the best way to do this is with pasting tomatoes, so like Roma or something like that, like plum tomatoes, which was my plan in the first place, but unfortunately the germination had other plans. Anyway, we're fine with that. It's gonna work as well. The first thing we need to do is put some a teaspoon, don't put a tablespoon of salt. Obviously this is for about 1.5 kilos to 2 kilos. Otherwise I would probably increase to 1.5 or 2. Then we are gonna grab our heat source, make sure that it's coming on. Yes. And we're going to put that on and leave it for about 20 minutes. I'm not putting any water. There's obviously enough water content in there. And the whole point at the end of the day will be to reduce the amount of water in there. So we don't want to put more water. What I'm going to do is give this just a gentle mix like that. Right, okay, so that was about 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. So we'll turn this off just now. It's done enough. Obviously they were quite ripe and then smaller. So it just, what you want is basically to have everything reduced to this. All the tomatoes are nice and soft like that. This is the reason why you kind of want to move the skin if you're not lazy like me, because then it leaves a lot of skin like that, but it's nice and it's gently thicken. It's not thick, but it starts to thicken anyway. So right, once we've got this, we are gonna take this off the heat. Just be careful for yourself that it doesn't splash all over the place, but we're gonna blend this gently. Right, so you absolutely want to go over this properly and make sure that it's well blended, because once it's reduced, it's a lot more difficult to blend it. What you want to check is make sure that there's no skin. If you have the skin, if you don't, that's easy enough. That's pretty much you done at this point. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So at this point, you pretty much have a tomato sauce. So what you can do with this is add your spices. So you can add a bit of pepper, taste to make sure there's enough salt as well, and pretty much your sauce is ready. Again, taste, make sure you've got all the spices that you need in there, but your sauce is ready. What we will be doing though, and here is put this in this pan, and this is where I'm gonna start being fun doing this inside a greenhouse. Just like that. Make sure to get all that goodness out. Put it back in here. And this is the bit that's going to take a long time. I'm going to be about 2 hours, as I've mentioned. Clip this on this side. It's going to be a bit easier for me. And I'm just going to put it on the smallest, the lowest heat possible. Unfortunately with this one, the low is kind of a medium, which is a bit of a pain. And we are going to just reduce this for quite a long time at this point. I'm not adding anything just now. We will add at the end because I'm preserving. If you are making your paste and then use it straight away, you can absolutely add your spices in here just now. Let them infuse over time. But in my case, since I'm going to freeze it, I'm not going to add the spices until the end. So I'm just going to literally just cook it on its own like this. And it's just a case of giving it a stir every so often. You don't need to be on top of it as much as when I was breaking down. Just give a stir every so often and let the water, or most of the water, evaporate and let this turn into quite a thick paste. There you go. Right, so at this point it's pretty much ready. As you can see, if I'm just moving it to one side, it's just very, very slowly coming back. So this is what we want to see. You can literally draw in it, and if it does do that, then it's fine. So what I'm going to do now is add my spices. So I've already tasted it while I was making it, so it's fine. It's actually really tasty as it is. The salt is fine. I don't need any more. Obviously that's up to your taste at this point, but it was a good base. I'm gonna do, although it's quite sweet, which is good, but I'm still gonna put a bit more sugar, probably 3/4 of a tablespoon. I would normally put a full tablespoon, but it's still quite sweet. All I want is just at this point is break the acidity a bit. So I'm gonna do a full tablespoon. There we go. Give this a good stir. And just to give it a bit of, well, it's already quite colorful, but a bit more color, a bit more shine, it looks nicer. I'm gonna put half a tablespoon of oil. I'm using, oh, there was a bit more, it's about 3/4 there, but that's fine. That will do. And that will help as well with the preservation. Just make sure to give it a good stir, because obviously it doesn't mix very well, the oil. See, it sits exactly the way I want there. It's not coming back. This is spot on what I want. Very, very slowly. But if I just put it all to one corner, just like this, oh, I'll try to put it all to one corner, it's gonna stay here. Okay, and this is exactly what I want. So I'm gonna give it a wee taste. Just now, and this is usually the time where I end up burning my face. Perfect. Still a pinch of acidity, but that's good enough. The herbs will obviously infuse over time, so definitely happy with that. So let's turn this off completely, and we are ready to can. Right, now that's the thing, it needs to be done right away while it's still hot, because that's what's going to help your preserve. So now that I've got the water out, I don't know if this spoon will be probably a bit on the big side, but hopefully that will work. And I'm just gonna fill this up nice and full. Just be careful not to burn yourself when you do this, which is exactly what I'm doing just now. And you want to really fill it up all the way to the top. So carefully, you can give it a wee tap. Obviously you need to be careful that it doesn't smash the glass, but I'm gonna fill it up to the brim just like that, and then get the lid nice and tight upside down and onto the towel. There you go, that's it. So I've got 5 of those jars filled up to the brim, and then I've got enough to do me for dinner tonight, so not too bad. Those jars, once they're open, will last for about a week or so. So what I will keep them for is to do my bolognese mostly, and when I do my bolognese, I do a big 15 liter, I think, pots of them. So this will take a whole one of those jars. So I've got for 5 loads, and each of them last me for about, let's say, about 2 months. So yeah, I've got for a give or take about a year supply of pasta bolognese with this. Well, obviously it's going to take a bit more, but this is my base for it. So there we go. I hope you like this recipe. Obviously all the ingredients and the rough guides will be down in the description as well, so make sure to go and check that out. There was no need to take any notes. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. I hope you like this recipe. I hope you like this new format of On You Cook. If you do, let me know. I have plenty more recipes that I would like to do with you guys. So if you're interested, I would like to do this more often. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If you have liked this video, I would really appreciate if you leave a thumb up. I would also appreciate if you consider subscribing and ticking the bell to be informed when the new videos are coming. And just now, I'm gonna go and wash all this now. That's not the fun part, is it? Thank you very much for watching today. Happy cooking. Bye.